Raindrops keep falling on my head. That doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Except that they are red, because I'm crying. It's the finale episode and podcast for Feud, Bette and Joan. Hello, fellow Betties and buddies. We are your Boob Tube Betties. I'm Bethany.
I'm Kristin.
And tonight we talk about the finale episode. You mean all this time we could have been friends?
I love that they bring it back to Baby Jane.
Baby Jane. It's always been about Baby Jane. Follow us on social media. Email us anything, everything, boobtubebetties@gmail.com. I don't know why I keep saying anything and everything. Like, that's my go-to phrase.
For anything and everything?
I don't really mean that, but anything show-related or, Dear Abby, that's fine. Check out our other content at boobtubebuddies.com. 5 stars on iTunes really helps, and I'll tell you why. For our indexing, it knocks us up so other people can see our podcast. Tell a friend, and really just thank you so much for listening and for the feedback. We love, love, love it.
I do what's coming up now versus what came up 6 months ago when you put in boob in iTunes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're actually getting, it's good.
It's a lot better than what I was getting before.
You're good.
You're good.
It's my favorite thing to say. And stay tuned for more good stuff to come. Right now we have Better Call Saul and Fargo, along with Feud, although this is ending.
Yeah.
But you and I are going to be doing Orange is the New Black this summer. June 9th. What else is coming out? Sense8, you and Michael.
Yes.
We have a ton of other buddies if you don't know us already. Kristin and I are the girls, so.
I decided to step in Bethany's shoes.
It's just podcasting with my brother.
For the summer, really. And podcasting with Michael for Sense8. And then podcasting with Adam for Game of Thrones.
She has a mask that looks like my face that she puts on.
It's true. Not just for the podcast, though.
Tonight we've got 2 segments in honor of the finale episode. We've got 2 truths and 1 big little lie, and we brought back, oh my god, you know who that is, right? So lots of fun there.
Oh my god.
Housekeeping. Okay, so last week I brought up that the whole Jamie Lee Curtis rumor that I thought everyone knew. Not that she's a tranny. Okay, about that, I thought that she had a sex change or she identified as trans.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the specifics. I just knew that was a thing that people talked about.
Yeah.
But that's not correct. The Hollywood myth is actually that she was born with both male and female sex organs.
Oh my god, she got Rachel Greened?
So she was intersexed, or the old term for that is hermaphrodite. And she had to undergo surgery after birth to become legally female. And supposedly that was supposed to be part of the reason her name was Jamie Lee, in case they couldn't sort that out, I guess. but it is not true. It's just a myth. And it reminds me of the Richard Gere gerbil in the asshole thing.
I don't know about that, so I need to hear about that. What is that?
You know everything about celebrity stuff. You've never heard
School
this?
me, girl. What is it?
This, so there was this big thing that went around, an urban legend, about how he put a gerbil up his butt for pleasure, and then he couldn't get the gerbil out, and he had to go to the hospital and get the gerbil removed from his butthole. Well,
that is the worst rumor to be started about you.
I swear to God, when we're done, Google Richard Gere gerbil, or maybe it was a hamster, but one of those.
If it's a guinea pig, I'll be pissed.
Guinea pigs are so big.
I know, that's why.
But he liked the way it tickled or something. But not true. It's not true.
Well, thank fucking God. That just reminds me of Friends, where Brad Pitt guest starred and he hates Rachel Green, Jennifer Aniston's character, and him and Ross had an I Hate Rachel Green club, and all they did was start a rumor about her being a hermaphrodite, and she's like, oh my god, that's why somebody wrote in my yearbook, Dear Rachel, sorry about your teeny weeny. And it just reminded me of that. That's amazing.
I can't believe you haven't heard of this stuff.
The gerbil thing just brings up so many questions more than answers.
Once you start looking into it, you'll be like, wait, did this really
Is it going to send me down a gerbil hole?
It's going to send you down Richard Gere's gerbil hole.
German hole.
Right down his German hole. But back to the show. In honor of this being the finale episode, I wanted to pay tribute to that really sad, delusional dinner that Joan had with Betty, where she asked Mamacita to bring the champagne. So we've got some bubbly.
Mamacita!
The champagne! For my friend Betty. So this is to my friend, my other Betty.
This is to my Betty.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You're good.
Chin chin. It's my final time I can say it.
Opening. Okay, this was crazy.
Oh, I swear it was gonna end and it was Pauline's documentary.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been great because, like, still a boss can still be interviewed for something. And when she said at the beginning that it helped with the documentary she had more of a chance with, I was really hoping that the end was going to be revealed that it was her documentary that was making it the whole time.
I didn't put the two and two together, but...
Well, there's no reason to, apparently, but...
So I know that you had said in a previous episode that Pauline was a real person, but the Pauline they created for this show was like an amalgamation of... Okay. So was there a Pauline...
God bless you.
What?
Amalgamation.
Oh.
I was like, God bless you.
Was there a Pauline that became a documentary person?
No, but I figured if they were just going to make her up, it would kind of tie everything in and explain why this one person was making this documentary regarding Joan and Betty.
Yeah, why? But yeah.
And the fact that they even put in the line that she... Okay, so... Let's go back real quick. It's 1979. She's being interviewed by these people, just like
Betty,
Joan, Blondell, and Olivia. And you find out that she gets a beau named Howard and follows him to Pontiac, Michigan, where she finds out there's more work in documentaries. And that's why I thought immediately, I'm like, oh, this is how they're going to tie it together. This is actually who's making the documentary because she had some personal stake in it.
Yeah, that would have been a good jump.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this is so, and this for me just, so she says the last time she saw Joan Crawford was at LaGuardia, 2 broken ankles, drunk, and, referred to Pauline as an old friend, and Pauline said something about her, she seemed tossed away. So that sets the tone. This whole episode was so fucking sad.
It was so sad.
It was like kind of fun. I don't know, these last 3 episodes were...
A hard look.
Downer. Yeah.
Hard look at truth. And you know what made me think of this earlier was when I was watching it, because I didn't watch it last night because I fell asleep and I missed both Feud and this awesome Pearl Party.
Oh my God.
Apparently
I was going to bring it up later because Joan Crawford wears a sick pearl necklace.
Oh yeah.
I've recently gotten into watching pearl parties late at night. If you don't know what it is, it's like...
Then get in the know.
No, don't get in the know because I want to be a fucking pearl distributor and host Facebook Live parties. But it's the most soothing thing at night to watch these people shuck oysters, which is beautiful pearls inside, all different colors, and then... Anyway,
it sounds like you can't understand it, but as soon as you open your mind to it, it is both hypnotizing and soothing and amazing.
This was my dirty little secret, and then my husband caught me watching a Facebook Live party and saying beautiful a lot, like beautiful. Oh my God. Stunning. So
gorgeous.
I finally told my friends and they like it.
Hooked. I was so sad I missed it, so I watched a post-live Pearl Party, or a little bit of it, before we started. We actually started like 10 minutes late because I couldn't stop watching the Pearl Party.
Yeah, we're definitely experts on Feud when we forego watching it to watch a Facebook Live video. Anyway.
But no, I was going to say, as I was watching it today, do you remember the movie Las Vegas?
No.
It was recent. I haven't even seen it. But it had like Morgan Freeman and Robert De Niro, and it was
it's
like
pronounced Las
Vegas. Sorry, did I say Las Vegas?
You said Las.
Last Vegas. It's called Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Okay, the Last Vegas.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go with that.
Because if we say the Lost Vegas, it's like it's lost.
Okay, we'll go with that. Last.
Like Mean Grandpa or Bad Grandpa, Las Vegas. All of these fucking movies that do include old men. Why can't they do like a Vegas trip with a bunch of old biddies? Like, why can't there be more roles for older women that are fun?
And the only old roles for, or the the roles for old women that are fun, Tyler Perry does them.
Yes.
Or men do them.
Yes, exactly.
Come on, man.
It's really upsetting. Like, if you really think about it, like,
Although Mrs. Doubtfire would not have been it wouldn't have made any sense with an old woman.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's the only
but
exception.
Big Mama's house would.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think it would have actually.
I don't know. I don't watch that garbage. The next scene, that song I was just singing, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Mm-hmm. It's Joan in her much more modest New York City apartment, cooking for herself and signing autographs, and it's sad. She
alone. Even like recreates that Blanche moment in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane when she's sad,
she's sitting on the couch
and she finds her old movie.
Yes. She gets a puppy, and then
Princess Lotus Blossom.
Was that the dog's name?
Yes, Princess Lotus Blossom.
I fucking love that.
It's amazing.
But yeah, she spits blood in the sink, and my first thought was, girl needs to floss.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
That's not what it was. And then Mamacita shows up, and
then she like touches noses with the dog. I love it.
I know, and she says, I'm available on a part-time basis. And Joan is just like...
You can see the happiness.
I know, and as this episode goes on, you see it more, but Joan is so much more humble. It's just like, and I don't know if humble is the right word, she's just been beaten down.
Like her conversation with Kathy about like, does she know
everything?
Like,
yeah,
grandmother.
It's very
okay.
much,
you can do that, and Trog and everything. Like she really.
You know how later in this episode
down.
she says how she spent all of her time being this character that other people created. That when she was alone, she didn't know herself. And I feel like in this episode we got to kind of see her be herself, who is this sort of sad, vulnerable, lonely,
really sweet
person who just wants love and wants to give love.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was, and then we got the opening, and then we're at the dentist, and this was insane to me.
Insane. Also, if it wasn't as insane as it is, genius, but insane.
So she had, the dentist is saying she's got a lot of infection back there, and she had 6 molars removed in her 20s because she got the buckle.
I didn't know this existed.
I didn't know this existed either, but you know how, who was that actress or porn star that got her lower ribs
Jenna Jameson?
Removed to give herself more, that's the same thing.
Jenna Jameson, yeah.
Although your teeth are, man, your teeth
molars are there for a reason, but so are ribs.
I don't think that I have 6 molars.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't think I have as many teeth as people have.
Why?
I'm just, look how tiny this mouth is. It's this big. But she got the buckle so her cheeks would be more attractive, and basically it was either that or plastic surgery, which is so sad. Mm-hmm. And the dentist is just like, you know, she needs to get dentures, and so she needs to stop worrying about the way she looks. And I love this line. I'll stop worrying about how I look when they dip me in formaldehyde.
Oh my God. That was amazing. But
sadly, that's how I feel. I don't want to be that way, but I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Probably with me too.
They're going to have to remove the only 4 molars that I have.
Yeah. Now I have cheekbones.
Give me the buckle.
The real sad line that like made me choke up in this is when she said, "Stars are like Christmas trees. Once the lights are off, you sit there and watch the needles drop." I was like, Jesus. Like,
I mean, did she really say some of this stuff? Because,
I mean,
it's so poignant.
Exactly, but it's just really depressing.
This whole, yeah, I know. It's hard to keep the energy up talking about this.
It really is. Like, you're talking and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go watch a Pearl Party.
Exactly. I need to cheer up. I'm just going to pick my phone and just watch a little bit of this Pearl Party.
The next scene, she meets with Stan, her agent. Oh, and this is where I thought she definitely seemed humbled, because she used to be such a bitch about scripts and about...
Oh, yeah. She's like, I'll take it.
Yeah. And so she'll take the B movie even though he advises against it. But she's also going to do this much better offer. I thought it was a lifestyle article, but it was a book.
It's a book, yeah. From Schuster and Simon, or Simon and Schuster.
And it's going to be her giving her tips on womanhood.
Well, we asked if there was something out there. Apparently, we need to buy this.
She could have been the Martha Stewart of her time. Mm-hmm. I am going to read this book. I have to read this book.
I was going to say, like, I need you to bullet point it for me. But.
Oh my God, I have to read it. I have to read this. I have to read the book that was written by Beatty. I have to read... oh my God, there's so much stuff I have to read after this show. Unfortunately, you can't find a lot of it on a certain reading device.
Yes. We can say it, right?
No, we can't say it.
Oh, we can't?
No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, we like...
On my Kindle.
I was going to say, we pushed their listening device. Which, by the way, is my go-to for everything. Audible.com.
Let's see. Oh, the next scene. She arrives to set for Trog.
You mean The Missing Link, which is what she signed up for, is a movie called The Missing Link.
I like that she goes, what's a Trog?
What's a Trog? And then she looks over and she's like, he's got no hair on his arms.
She sees her co-star and definitely not impressed. And normally she would storm off the set, but she's got to make it work.
She has to share makeup with Trog, and I love the director who's like, maybe you could give him some tips.
I know. That was a good way to handle it. Okay, so then I love how this plays out. It's her recording her book and her tips on life, and they're so hilarious and funny.
I wrote half of them down, and then I realized when she kept going, I was like, okay, well, I'm only going to write half of them down.
But how they paired with what was going on during the movie was like, oh my God, this is so sad.
So sad. Did you write some of them down? You want me to go over some of them?
Yeah, go over some of them.
Okay, treasure yourself. A certain amount of self-pampering is needed. Surround yourself with happy colors. Sit on hard chairs because soft ones spread the hips. Wear shocking pink and lovely hats. Try to be a good mother. Mistrust people who don't like animals. And there are no hard and fast rules on how to defend off a man, but know how to fend off a man's past in the first place. And I love how she lists foods you can't keep in the house.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Her diet tips.
Yes.
Soft cheese. Just like a whole bunch of stuff.
Exactly. And pretty much all the beauty products all the beauty products won't save you from the expression that you're really giving. So.
And as it goes on, it's getting sadder and sadder.
And she's really swallowing her pride here.
Yeah, she really is. And while she's, she sounds like this crazy but sophisticated woman who's lived a life of privilege, you're seeing this woman just falling apart. She's drinking. She's taking prescription pills because her mouth is in so much pain. Mm-hmm. She's sleeping on set, wandering around.
Yep. And, her whole, quote, new dressing room
is a van.
That was so sad. And then, the part where she puts on the Trog mask.
When she picked up the Trog mask, I'm like, oh, please don't put it on. Please don't put it on.
And then the lyric in the background.
And I started...
That said, this is the end.
I started crying.
I literally put... that's when I started choking up. And then there's like a couple places where I'm like, definitely started crying here.
Like in that moment, she was officially the saddest person on earth.
Even when the director's like, leave her alone. Oh, it was awful.
This crazy old lady wandering around. Oh, man.
I just wanted to hug her.
I know.
Like, if I ever saw Jessica Lange, I'd hug her and be like, I'm sorry, Joan.
Everyone was there at her funeral, but no one was there.
Yeah, everybody showed up to the funeral, but way too late.
Yes. The next scene, Joan is signing autographs for her books, My Way of Life.
Mm-hmm. She believes that people are there to truly mock her, honestly.
Yeah, and they're asking about Baby Jane, and she's just...
That poor guy, though. He's just a fan, and I felt like...
It was classic Joan right there.
Yeah, I felt like the answer he gave her, like, I like both of them because they're survivors, was such, like, an honest, like, sweet answer, and I really thought this new humble Joan... But then I love how they just bring it back around, and she's like...
I'm just picturing her... doing this book because she needs the money, and she's just finished this movie that was so probably the experience for her degrading, and it's just like, I give up. And she really does.
What do you know about survival?
I know. And then she's like, call my agent. I'm done after that unflattering picture of her in the paper. She was very upset about that. She calls her agent. She's
and then you get back to Pauline. And you get that whole story about in Japan at 60, you put on the big red hat, and it's Kanriki, and it's like a starting over.
Oh, yeah. I didn't write that down, but I do remember that.
I just thought that was so cool, and I will definitely be doing that when I turn 60.
Putting on a Trog mask?
Putting on a Trog mask with a big red hat, and going, oh, Kanriki.
What do you...
You have to set that out.
You want to do 2 truths?
Yes.
Let's do it. We're going to do 2 truths and 1 big little lie.
Let's play a game called
2 truths and 1 big
little lie.
So your idea was way better than mine.
It's so great.
And it's like, what are we going to do it on? I guess I'll do it on mouth cancer, or
And I'll do it on alcoholism.
No, we're gonna do it on the obvious. Jessica Lange and Susan Sarandon. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as we're done, I'm gonna go grab the bottle of wine.
Wait, did you stick to our deal about?
Yes,
Okay, me too.
maybe.
Did you stick to our?
Maybe.
Our deal was we wouldn't change the lie to something. The lie had to be a legit lie, not like in 1993. Actually, it was 1992. We're not doing that. This is legit lies. She's giving me like evil,
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't.
mysterious eyes. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, who do you have?
Susan Sarandon.
Shit.
Shut up.
Just kidding.
All right, truth one. Susan Sarandon was married to a famous actor known for his character, Prince Humperdinck. Truth two. In the 1990s, a Sailor Moon live-action film was being developed. Susan was the #1 choice to play Queen Beryl, but the project was shelved. Truth three. Susan Sarandon owns a ping pong club in New York City and Toronto.
Which is the lie? I mean, 2 seems really obvious.
Is that what you're going to go for?
Yes.
You got it, girlfriend.
Finally, I got one on the finale. Finally. Oh, because I was gonna go with 3.
that was
excited.
That was actually Gina Davis.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, let me bask in this for a second. Because I was shit eating.
Go girl, get on with your bad self.
It only took 8 episodes of Feud and what was it? 8 episodes of Big Little Lies for me to get one right. That's all right.
You did good.
Okay.
Now here's the cherry topper. I'll get this one wrong.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Thank you.
Let's see which one I want to do first.
Pure and total failure.
Okay. All right. Truth 1. In the early 90s, Jessica Lange fostered a Romanian child with severe disabilities. I don't know why I can't get through that without laughing. There's something wrong with me. I just imagine this beautiful actress. Okay.
Where was she from?
Romania. Okay. I'm like, she's from Roman.
When in Romania.
Truth 2. When in Romania, you adopt disabled babies. It's Jessica Lange for you. Truth 2. Despite her many awards that she has won, she gives zero fuck about the award shows. She says that they are a freak show, only allowing actors to talk about themselves, which you should never do. Mm-hmm. And truth 3. Lange practices Buddhism and has a small tattoo of a monk praying on her left arm. Kristin, which
Truth
is...
3?
What?
Truth 3?
God damn it.
Yes! Only a little bit of failure.
God, you should see the levels of spike.
Sorry. I'm very sorry.
No, you know what? It's kind of nice to end with both of us getting it right. That was fun. I liked that.
It was fun. It was good. You like it now?
You know what?
I don't fucking hate this game now.
She does practice Buddhism, and she
With the
does have
tattoo?
she does have a tattoo like on one of her wrists, but it's definitely not a monk praying.
Is that legit?
Yeah.
She's got a tattoo, but you changed it a little?
Yeah, was that sketch?
A little sketch. That's okay. Here's what we should say. The things we cannot change, because sometimes you do have to just change something little. You can't just find something. Things you cannot change. Numbers and years. 3 to 4, 1992.
Cities. You can't change cities.
Okay, we'll come up with a list of like 5 things that you cannot change to make it like fair.
Okay.
But cities, numbers, years, those kind of things.
All right.
But like a different tattoo's fine. Because like some things you just can't.
Well, it wasn't on
Do you know
her
how hard
left
it was
arm.
to find? Like I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll find Susan Sarandon's co-star. And
I
the
spent
facts
like
about
45
her.
minutes on this. It was a stupid amount of time. Well, that was 2 truths, 1 big little lie. Enjoy this Blue Apron ad.
And 1 big
Little lie.
Hello, Hello, I'm Julia Child. I'm a famous French chef. Chances are you know me from my famous cookbook. You know, the one you got in that gift exchange years ago and put on your bookshelf to make it look like you care about cooking. But I know your dirty secret. You can't cook or read. Reading is hard. But good news! Blue Apron is here to help. Just go to blueapron.com/BTB and you'll receive $30 off meals sent right to your door. So you can go back to pretending you know what bourguignon means. Your friends will be so impressed.
Hello, we are back. Hope you enjoyed Two Truths, One Big Little Lie. I'm assuming it was the Blue Apron ad. It could have been something different. During that break, Kristin and I pounded beers and champagne and had a good gossip session.
Yep.
So if we start slurring, that's why.
Sorry.
We come back and we have the interview with Victor Bueno. And he's pretty honest, pretty frank. He talks about how Hush Hush Baby Charlotte, whatever it is, not as good as Baby Jane. And he talks a little...
Cousin Charlotte.
Whatever. He talks a little shit about Betty.
How failure made her desperate.
Yeah, and she lost her high standards. She stopped saying no to bad projects. And we get this awesome montage of
Horrible
bad
projects.
pilots that Betty did. And
He compared her to Miles Davis doing jingles for lunch meat commercials.
This next scene, like Betty, it wasn't a good look for her.
No.
She's upset. She's complaining about Katharine Hepburn, and Victor's
She's
just
a snob and blew her off for a magazine shoot.
And Victor's just Victor's good. He kind of took her to task a little bit.
Yeah, which was really sad, though, was that she pretty much says that, I pity Katharine Hepburn because I had a life and I loved my children. And then it turns to the next scene.
Yeah, the next scene where she meets with 1972, Lunch with Beatty. And she's got that terrible cough. And they're at that restaurant that Joan was always at. What is that restaurant again?
I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it again.
Oh, that old Hollywood restaurant that old Hollywood stars.
I think it started with an R or something. I don't know.
Beatty looks gorgeous.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
And
she's a gorgeous girl.
She is very pretty. And you can tell right away. We don't know about her acting. She hits her marks. Gorgeous girl.
She hits her marks. Gorgeous girl.
So you can tell she's irritated with Betty. And Betty makes a disparaging remark about, everyone thought this marriage wouldn't last, and you're still married to Jeremy.
Yep.
And what does she say? Beatty basically gets brought up. The kids are never going to be alone with Betty again. Betty had this whole day plan for her and Beatty. Mm-hmm. And Beatty really just met her to tell her,
You're not seeing my kids
anymore. Not seeing my kids alone without supervision.
Unless supervision, yeah.
That Betty was hitting them. Not hitting them.
Swatting
them. And
then when she's like, I swatted you all your life, did I traumatize you? And she just gets silent.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I know. Tells her she has a drinking problem. Needs to get that under control. And she's not going to have lunch with her. And Beatty leaves.
Says peace.
If she said peace, that'd be funny. But it's really, sad.
Piss bitch.
As much as she talks about herself being real and Joan being on a different planet, in that moment, Betty was, come on. She's picturing
You saw a lot of Joan and Betty in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. I think that they did a little juxtapositioning of the characters.
I think Joan just arrived really earlier than Betty did, but they arrived at the same place.
Yeah. And this, not a good moment for Betty.
Nope.
But Betty's at the doctor's office.
Yep.
She stopped drinking for 17 days.
Yep.
Which I think is a lot.
It is.
Why does she... And quite frankly, after 17 days, you would not need detox because you would already be detoxed.
Exactly.
But the doctor suggests detox. I think what she meant was rehab.
Yeah. She can't give up cigarettes because they're her only friends.
Right. Which, if you've ever been to an AA meeting...
They support cigarette smoking, right?
They don't support cigarette smoking, but everyone smokes. And I was at an AA meeting for work stuff, okay? For school stuff. And for personal growth. No, I'm just kidding. Not yet. But everyone smokes. And I think, you give up one vice and another one takes over. You have addictive personality, something's got to fill that hole a lot of the time.
Everything that you're addicted to is going to kill you. So if you keep smoking, as long you're not going to act like an asshat and ruin all relationships.
Some people get addicted to knitting. I don't know anyone that does. I don't know anyone that does that. Working out, healthy eating.
I love that addiction.
Religion. People get addicted to.
I'm good with that one.
So there's like this school of thought that it's not true addiction if you don't have like physical symptoms of it. So obviously drugs, alcohol, you can become physically addicted to. But how they have like gambling addictions. Mm-hmm. So there's a school of thought like that's not a real addiction because you're not going to have any sort of physical fallout.
Except for maybe antsiness.
Yeah, see, I disagree with that. But anyway, so she can't go to rehab. She's got the Dean Martin roast.
Yes, I watched this. Remember I told you this?
Yes.
And that outfit was the exact same outfit and jokes were the exact same jokes. I thought that was really good and I loved who they got to do Dean Martin. I don't know who it was, but I liked him.
Do you think that this was Ryan Murphy giving a little shade to the Comedy Central roasts? Because they talk about how it's just like a bunch of crappy rated comedians and actors lambasting.
I actually think, I mean, it could be, yes. I actually think that a lot of the old Hollywood people felt that way about the Dean Martin roast. Because a lot of those people are very private and not, I don't want to say closeted because that makes it sound, you know.
They're all gay.
Yeah, in a certain light. But what I'm saying is like, I think a lot of them held privacy into a really high standard and Dean Martin roast was the opposite of that. I've watched like 100 Dean Martin roasts because they're available on YouTube and I love them so much. And they are so much raunchier than some of the Comedy Central roasts.
Really?
They're very racist sometimes.
See, I didn't even, oh, yeah. I didn't even know that the Comedy Central roasts were predicated on anything else. I didn't realize that. I didn't know there was Dean Martin roasts.
You have to watch them on YouTube. They're hilarious because
Dean
racist? Martin is always insanely wasted. Like, go to any of the roasts and fast forward to like the last 20, 30 minutes and Dean Martin is barely standing.
Oh no.
It's amazing.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
How could they get away with that then?
I love it so much.
There wasn't the internet, so it wouldn't spread
yeah,
like
that's what I'm
wildfire.
saying. There's so much racism though and so much like inappropriate like things that would be said and talked about and boycotted and people being offended by it. It's such good old, this is where old Hollywood is not over. No, I mean,
and we were less, everyone wants to get offended by everything nowadays.
It's true.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to look it up. That sounds fun.
They're like free on YouTube. They're amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up.
And if you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get one of those paid programs, sometimes it's a 30-minute special on selling the Dean Martin roast sets.
Really?
Yes, and they give like previews and...
That's so funny. In the middle of the night, I never turn the TV on. I don't know why I don't, because it's normally because of some terrible nightmare, so I'm just shaking in
a
my
Dean
bed
Martin roast will knock you right out of that.
Or a Pearl Party.
Or a Pearl Party. Oh my god. Watch a Dean Martin roast while you're watching a Pearl Party on 2 different devices. That sounds like heaven to me. I might cream my jeans. That I already did.
I always wear jeans when I go to bed too.
I always wear jeans when I watch Pearl Parties.
It's good for vaginal health. You know, jeans
are good for my clam.
It's good for my clam. Growing pearls down there. Gotta keep the jeans tight. And then we find out that the real hatred that Betty had wasn't necessarily for Joan. It was for Faye Dunaway.
She does seem like a bitch.
Faye Dunaway?
Yeah.
I just think she seems crazy.
There was a documentary on the making of Mommy Dearest.
Oh my god, yeah.
And apparently Faye Dunaway was a huge Stanley Tucci word.
What? Yeah. But she was a method actor at that point. So she would only be in her what she thought of as the character Joan Crawford.
Matter of convenience. She's like, for this role, I'm going to become a method actor. I'm a bitch now.
I don't know. I think she was doing it before then, but
yeah, the disappearance of Amy.
Do you remember? Not to dwell on Mommy Dearest, but do you remember hearing something Faye Dunaway wrote or said that after the filming of Mommy Dearest? It was so self-indulgent that there wasn't even a cast or crew party just because.
Yes.
And what really
because why?
Because what it made it sound like her performance was so moving, and the way the way it all wrapped up was so sad that no one even felt like celebrating the end of it.
And there was a wrap party, right?
What really happened is she just wasn't invited.
Yes.
Yeah, they just didn't want her there.
Exactly. Exactly. It was kind of like, what was it? Joan Crawford, I think it was towards the end of the show. Or maybe it was Betty who said like one thing, and it was really because like they didn't want her or something like that.
Yeah. So someone wouldn't take a picture with her.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's right.
But then we get some scenes of Betty on the scene of that movie, and Faye's not there, and Faye wouldn't work with her, and Betty says to Victor, at least Joan was on set on time, ready to work. And Victor tells her that Joan has cancer.
Oh, but can we talk about how she says it will cut off all of her talk show appearances if they think that she's gone soft on crawfish. I love that she still calls her crawfish, even like in private.
Oh, she's only doing it for fun because she doesn't really mean it. Because we see these sincere moments where,
no, I think crawfish became like a term of endearment for her.
yeah,
I liked it.
it's just cancer won't kill Joan. She's a cockroach, just like me.
Yeah.
And Victor's urging her to call her. You have so much in common, and I think Betty sort of sees that in that moment.
This is my second part of crying when she calls her.
Yeah, so Betty calls Joan, and just a tribute to Jessica Lange's acting, the way she looks, the voice she picks up. This is Joan Crawford, and
Like very nervous yet excited that somebody's calling her.
right. And I think Betty could hear the sadness and could hear the sickness and just how different she and how raw the moment was, and she just couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
exactly. She hung up. Yeah, I cried there too.
And then she looks at the dog and goes, "Nobody there."
Yes. When they showed that dog, I was like, "There's no way Joan's gonna like this dog because this puppy's going to go pee pee and poo poos on the floor, and she's gonna get rid of it."
And she just needs company.
Yeah, she doesn't care. I bet her bed reeked.
Probably
Because when you have cancer,
she ain't walking the dog every day.
right?
Unless Mamacita comes by and does. I don't know.
She's not walking.
I think Mamacita only came on certain days, and that's why she used paper plates. So
yeah, and I'm sure she was wetting the bed. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like Joan was probably wetting the bed.
That's funny. I need lemons on my elbows. They're so rough right now.
Commercial break. We come back and we see Kathy Crawford, 1977, and she's bringing her kids by for a visit at Joan's, and
she has twins just like her.
yeah, and Joan is so happy, and Kathy's worried because Joan basically says she stopped seeing her doctor and she's turned to Christian Science. What is Christian Science?
They do not believe in medicine.
So is that akin to Jehovah's Witness? No. I'm so sorry if
Scientology?
I'm offending people. No, Scientologists use medicine.
Not medicine.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Why do you think Tom Cruise got so pissed at?
Well, I know they don't believe in psychiatry.
And they also don't believe in using a lot of medicine either.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
I think it is.
I know they don't believe in psychiatry.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
I guarantee you L. Ron Hubbard
Google it.
was
Look it up.
using some Viagra.
Probably.
Fucking perv. But Christian Science. Okay. All right. So I get
But
that.
yeah, they don't use medicine. I mean, I hate to turn it to this, but I had an employee who was a Christian Science.
What is it called? A Christian Science?
Christian Science, yeah.
Christian Scientist?
I honestly don't know about
Can you imagine if you were like, let's
I'm
say
a scientist.
You're NASA and you're looking at resumes and you have someone show up. So I see here you're a scientist. Yes, I'm a Christian Scientist. I am here to add value to the NASA project team. We don't need to be going into space. There's no such thing as space.
There's no such thing as space.
We've only been around about 1,000 years. There's no such thing as dinosaurs, or we can come from monkeys, and I'm here to teach you all that. Sorry, that's probably very offensive, but...
So, this is Christian Science. Okay, never mind. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. But yeah, they do not really believe in medicine, and I had an employee who was a Christian scientist. I don't know what it is.
Christian Science.
And,
Christian Science.
Christian Science. And, he kept needing to go home and calling out sick, and I'm like, you really need to go to the doctor.
He's like, fuck you. I'm a Christian Scientist.
Well, he went to the doctor, and he had cancer.
Aww.
And he did not believe in treating it for a very long time. And by the time he did finally decide to kind of break tradition for his religion and get treatment, it was too late and he passed away.
So Bob Marley, Rastafarian,
Yes.
and he didn't believe in medical treatment either, right? So he ended up dying of that toe thing. Come on, people. Come on, man. No, it's all right. Believe what you want to believe. Medicine is evil.
I mean, I just believe what you want to believe, but medicine helps, man. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but like it's worth a shot.
Well, I guess you have to value like what's more important to you, like getting treatment with medicine, or if you like for whatever reason medicine is just really not your bag, then maybe you're more comfortable dying of a disease because that's how life. No, but Liz, that's how life works. We're supposed to get sick and die. We can't all live around. Moth in here. We can't live forever.
Yeah.
The amount of senior citizens we have in America, phew, my God. They're so slow. They're on our roads.
Thank goodness for Christian Scientists.
People need to die, so if that's the vehicle they want to use to die, that's fine. Yeah. Hospitals are crowded. I don't like a long ER wait. Stay home. That's
what
fine.
killed me is that he stood by his beliefs for so long and decided he wanted to live, and then it was too late.
Well,
so that was my depressing piece of news during this incredibly depressing episode. Terrell, I miss you and I love you.
So, okay, so I want to bring this up because we had talked about them bringing up the filming of Mommy Dearest as being something that they might do in the finale.
Yes.
But they didn't.
No.
But Joan does bring up Christina, her daughter's book. And
I love how she blames the bad parenting on her Hollywood schedule.
yeah, so she justifies her mothering and she makes excuses. And so she's not going to read that book. But
I mean, good for her for not reading it, though. Because that would have really sucked for her knowing what was in there.
I would like to think that I would read it. I know I would.
I
would torture myself.
So good for her.
But she cries, and it's just so beautiful to see her like enjoying and the kids are kind of being a little roughhousing.
I wanted to know more of that Joan.
I know, and she's enjoying seeing the kids play, and she's getting teary-eyed, and then Kathy, and she's so vulnerable, and Kathy was so sweet to her in this moment. Cried again, crying into my pizza bagel bites as I watched it today.
Really sad.
So sad. Speaking of sad, do you want to do, oh my God, you know who that is, right?
Great segue. Absolutely.
All right. This is, oh my God, you know who that is, right?
Oh my God, you know who that is, right?
Aw, shit.
Nah, bitch.
Okay. Want to go first or you want me to go first?
I went first for Big Little Lies. So you go first.
I was just going to say that. Okay. So I did the actress that played Kathy Crawford.
Nice.
Did you recognize her?
Uh-uh.
No, you didn't. Her name is Audrey Moore. She is best known for...
I'm sorry, that was really funny. No, you did not.
She's best known for 2 episodes that she guest starred in on Better Call Saul. You know, like... what? Right. Now I remember. We're doing this as, like, now it seems like we're making fun of actors. We're not picking out people that people might recognize. We're just like, who was in the
I'm excited about mine, though.
Oh, good. She was also in the show Manhattan. Okay. That was a Amazon show, I believe. She was Francine, 6 episodes.
Good old Fran.
And then Code Black. Do you remember that show?
No.
CBS. She was only on 1 episode.
Okay.
Awesome performance.
Beautiful performance.
No, she's done a lot of...
She actually got nominated for an Emmy, but somebody from The Good Wife went and accepted it for her.
She's done a lot of theater, improv comedy.
Really?
I meant to write
That's
it down.
super interesting.
I meant to write it down, but she was part of a comedy troupe. It's a very long name. I don't know why the one thing that you would recognize I didn't write down. But she was part of that.
Is it that one that's like kind of well known?
Yes, it's well known.
What is that called?
I'll tell you on the break. I'll tell you during the break. There's no other breaks, but
it's got a funny name to it, kind of.
yes, it's
The
very
Brigade?
strange. Yes.
The
yes, she's in the Brigade.
what is it? Oh god.
She's in that. She was.
But
in
you know
that.
what I'm talking. Okay.
Yes. Her resume is really funny. She seems like a funny girl. It
Really?
asks her weight and it says skinny pounds.
Stop it. I love her.
Yeah, I know. So she seems like a cool girl.
And I love when people like that like have such rando roles that you wouldn't imagine that that's who they are.
Her resume is a bit like she's making fun of herself. So I liked that. Yeah. So
that's cool.
I was happy to look up Audrey, and I hope to see her in more things.
Nice. I did I did Betty's Doctor, and that was Miss Molly Hagan. And the reason I'm so excited about this is because I kind of did an impromptu, oh my God, in Big Little Lies. And she played Ziggy's psychiatrist, Dr. Moriarty.
Oh my God,
It's funny. I didn't know that was the psychiatrist's last name. They took Liane.
Yes.
Yes. So I didn't know they gave her last name.
If nobody knows what we're talking about,
sorry.
Watch Big Little Lies, and we covered it on our podcast.
Episode 4 and 5 is when she was in it.
Yes.
And she is Sarah from Friends, the one with the cooking class. Remember I said the teacher, the friend, like how Joey comes in and Monica comes in and they're in a cooking class.
I don't remember shit like that.
Okay, so I randomly decided to do an oh my God on this chick, and then all of a sudden she shows up last night and I'm like, oh, it's her again.
That's awesome.
She had like a little bit part for one episode in Friends, and she did 72 episodes of Herman's Head. You know.
I don't know what that is.
Who doesn't? She was Sister Roberta in one episode of Seinfeld, Desperate Housewife, Masters of Sex, 2 episodes of the bad season of True Detective, and she was in a ton of shit more. But I was just really excited because like I tried to do an impromptu one in episode 3, and I'm like, I can do an actual one on her.
Yay!
So,
that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad we ended with yours then.
I don't know. I like the. I'm still trying to think of the name of it. Something Brigade.
I know. Citizens.
The Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yep.
Thank you.
God, you have an awesome memory.
Well, I wouldn't have known it if you hadn't thrown out the Citizens.
I looked at it today. You haven't looked at it. That was 2 truths, 1 big
No, it wasn't. It was, oh my God, you know who that is, right?
That was, oh my God, you know who that is, right?
Oh my God, you know who that is, right?
Aw, shit.
Nah, bitch.
Okay, we come back. This is, for me, the hugest, the biggest.
Huge.
The pinnacle scene of this whole episode.
Huge.
You want to dive in?
No, because I have the wrong paper.
Okay, Joan's in bed at night, and it's raining, and she's hearing laughter and music. Basically, she comes out, and I thought this was a dream sequence, and I rolled my eyes because I'm not a big fan of dream sequences. I think it's a cheap vehicle to move the plot forward, but
I mean, it still was, but they didn't use it in a tacky way.
no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
She sees Hedda, Jack Warner, and they're laughing. They're playing cards in her dining room or her living room, whatever, and they're reminiscing. Mm-hmm. And Joan's watching, and Joan looks so bedraggled. The gray, and I meant to bring this up before. So she was a redhead in this episode, but she's not a redhead anymore. It's like white, and her hair looks very thin. But then you see like the ends are red. It reminded me of Requiem.
I was like, oh my God, homegirl, you still got long hair. Good for you.
Do you remember Requiem for a Dream? The what's that awesome actress?
It is the movie I've seen a million times that I should never watch more than once. Ellen Burstyn.
Yes, and her.
No.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yes, you're right. And
I think that's the blonde chick from Drop Dead Gorgeous.
No, you're
Ellen
right.
something.
Helen. Anyway, towards the end, her hair looked just like Joan's, where it was like growing out and gray and crazy, but then at the ends you could see the red. You were right?
I was right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could see the red. That's what I remember. Just like sad.
It was very sad.
It's literally a perfect illustration of your youth is gone. Hair's old. The tendrils.
It reminded me of my ready for my second depressing tidbit. Reminded me of my grandmother, honestly, because she had fire engine red hair all of her life.
Yeah.
And then when she started declining with dementia, she just like had no energy to color her hair anymore and didn't want anything to do with it. And so as the days would go on and I would visit her, it became less and less of the nanny that I knew, the short fire engine red hair, to more of a longer, like it just. All right, I'm just gonna go. Can we go watch a Pearl Party, please?
I'm 31. 1 and I still like dyeing my hair. I'm like, I can't do this. My arms are so tired. My mom has been dyeing her hair for however long. She never misses a beat.
I know a lady who dyes her hair every 2 weeks.
Whoa!
Every 2 weeks. I'm like, girl, you got some energy.
That's so much work.
Yeah,
but anyway, but then we see Joan at the head of the table, and that's when you know, like, okay, so this isn't actually happening because she's in a beautiful red dress and she's glamorous, you know, very Joan Crawford-esque.
She's definitely pulled her neck back.
Yeah. And then it kind of, for me, it was like this was a little tense. They're talking about the past, and even though they're laughing and reminiscing, there are some sort of like raw moments and where you're like, oh, is this gonna go bad?
Oh, you mean like where they're like, the expression was not unite and conquer, and then her response, why did I need to be conquered?
Right. Yeah. It's like talking battle scars, but they're still so, even though they're a long time ago, they still seem so fresh. Mm-hmm. And not even just for Joan, but mostly for Joan.
But yeah. And then enter Betty Davis in the same exact dress.
Yes.
Save for Betty has red gloves and Joan has white gloves. So they're the same yet different.
And you don't know how this is going to play out because Joan does say, why is she here?
Yes.
You know, and so it seems like she's shown up to antagonize the situation.
And then that thing that you mentioned earlier comes up where she talks about, you know, she spent her whole life being Joan Crawford and someone she created for others. And it's so sad that in her old age, she still has yet to find herself. And sometimes I was thinking, like, God, man, Lucille, I wish you had found yourself.
I know. But that's what happens when you have that kind of childhood.
It is.
But Betty sort of encourages her, tell them what they did to you. And so they make a joke that they're going to apologize, and they don't really apologize. But Jack is apologetic, and he explains it all in a lighthearted manner, and he basically says all the suffering will be worth it.
I felt like this was kind of a love letter to other actors.
I did too.
And
that's a really good way to put it.
Almost maybe even to himself, Ryan Murphy, to almost a reassurance. Like all the pain will eventually mean something.
You're delighting people, and in the way you see yourself in your heyday, that will live on. You're still young, you're still beautiful.
Some of the bad stuff will be there, but mostly everybody will still love you. And it was almost kind of a self-reminder as well as, like I said, a love letter to others.
It's a little bit, though, like Jesus Christ on the cross, but in a Hollywood manner.
Absolutely.
But, you know, I liked it. And then Betty and Joan share a warm look. They talk about soaps, and Joan says, why am I so happy to see you? Which I cried. And Betty talks about nostalgia, and they play a card game of regrets. I was going
to ask if you had
a what? Burt Bacharach what?
Do you have a Burt Bacharach record that we can listen to while we play?
Turn on your light.
I was going to ask, I forgot to ask if you had playing cards because I was going to make you play this.
You and I have to play regrets? Mm-hmm. To each other? Mm-hmm. I don't really have
Well, it's not like regrets to each other, but like just regrets in life because pip cards, something you feel sorry for, face cards, that's something you wish you had done.
That sounds like the most depressing fucking game ever.
Okay, you get a pip card. What do you say?
I get a what card?
Pip card.
What do I regret?
What do you feel sorry for something that you did at all in life ever?
Okay, so there was this girl in high school. I shouldn't say this.
I'll counter you.
Okay.
Okay. Because mine is a girl in high school, too.
There was this relationship with an ex-boyfriend. I got back with the ex-boyfriend, and I said really cruel things to her that I found out from another friend that happened in her life. Terrible, tragic things that happened in her life. And I used that in a really cruel, mean way. And it's honestly one of my biggest regrets. If I saw her again, I would say that was like I've never said anything mean like that.
I have a similar one because you and I are not innately mean people, and I still remember it to this day.
That's what I want to tell her. Like that was so dirt. I remember when I told Adam that I was like, I have to tell you my biggest regret. And he was like, that's disgusting.
I don't know if I've ever told Jason this, but I didn't know if he wanted some.
Oh no.
Okay. But okay, so I'll counter that for you. In high school, there was a guy that I
It's always
liked.
fucking high school.
Yes, there was a guy that I liked. And then it kind of turned out that, like, I just wasn't that into him. You know,
Yeah,
something?
just not that into you.
But I liked him, and he was, like, a really good friend of mine and stuff. And then all of a sudden, this, like, I hate to say it, but, like, this girl that wasn't, like, super duper duper cute liked him, and he liked her back.
And you had to put a...
And
stuff
just
that out.
because I was jealous, guess who liked him again?
Yeah. That's not a big deal. I feel like that's just typical teen shit. Pretty sure I did that too.
Yeah, but she knows why I did it.
Oh, and then you lost interest?
Yes.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to being bitches. Okay, so now we can go with, we got a face card, something you wish you had done.
Oh, so much.
Oh, you're good.
I wish I had had sex with so many people. No, I don't.
I'm just going to be really boring, but I wish I had gone to college for something like business or finance.
Oh, God, I was supposed to say the opposite.
Because it would be over and I'd be making tons of money.
That's so funny. I wish that I had, like, I did theater and I loved it, and I wish that I hadn't been worried about, like, staying at home with a boyfriend, because I had some...
Mine's so practical, you're right. If I would go back, I would do something like that. I'm like...
No, I had some really good scholarships I could have used, but they were for specific northern schools. And I wish I had just followed that. I'm sure it would have petered out and not been anything. But I wish I had just done that, because that's what I said I was going to do, and I didn't, because I had a, boyfriend.
Do you know I almost moved to Boston?
Because I love
2008.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. 2008. I almost moved to Boston. It was after
Wait, we were in school together then.
We were. And I was pretty much 6 months, maybe less, broken up with Steven.
Yeah.
And my crush didn't like me, and school was just going okay, and I was still
think that
at
was
the
my
same
fault.
job, and I decided I wanted out of there. I wanted to go try something new. I had been in Florida all my life, and I wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
And I had already booked a ticket to go visit, to pick out places.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It was in April that I did it. And I went to LA with Lauren, and I came back, and Jason wanted to hang out.
Oh,
And-
changed your future.
And now he's my husband, and I have a baby with him.
Yay!
So,
That's a good story. That was a good game. And it worked out well for them too.
yes. I'm sorry I wasn't more generous with you, and I wish I had been a friend to you.
I know. I literally my shoulders were shaking, and then Joan says, "We can be friends now." And then she calls, "Mamacita, get the champagne." And Mamacita! And Mamacita's like, "You're not drinking. What are you talking about? You're not drinking." Then a glass for my friend Betty. And then Mamacita sees
And then all of a sudden
Joan.
it's just dark
It's just,
when it pans to Mamacita,
I
and
just
you
got
know.
chills again. There is a reason she has 2 Oscars, 8 Golden Globes, 2 Tonys. She is a fucking brilliant actress.
Oh my god. The lights go on, and Joan, because she is Joan in this, like, wholeheartedly, she just becomes lucid, and she thanks Mamacita, and then all you see on the screen is that she died 1 week later.
There's no one else here, just you and I. Oh God, yeah. And the next scene is I'm getting teary-eyed now.
I know, me too.
It's Mamacita's interview, and she said exactly she died a week later. And we already talked about it, but everyone showed up to say goodbye, but no one was there when she was alive and needed them. No one was there.
Yep. I love that she's like, we embalmed her and made her look like Joan, and then we cremated her.
Yeah.
That was great. I feel like that's what she'd want.
Yes, of course. I'm sure that
Frozen
was
in
her
Joan
last will
time and made her
testament.
look like...
I am positive that was in her last will and testament. So it didn't matter. So what makes that funny is I won't care about how I look when I'm filled with formaldehyde. No, she still cared then.
She still cared then, because she's like, I'm not just going to be cremated. And then Jan Tomlinson from the AP Wire Service calls
I
up
hated
Betty
this.
Davis.
And this is a real quote, right?
This is as real as it gets. Probably one of the top 5 things. If you were going to like combine the Feud into into the top 5 quotes of it, this is what you get.
I think Susan Sarandon did a really good job of this, because she could have made this super cold, but we already know she didn't feel that way about the death.
Because you can practically see her crying on the phone while she does it, but in such a strong manner that she's like, I am not going to let them see through this veneer.
I think that this line would be really hard. The line about, my grandmother or my mother always said...
Go ahead.
Okay.
My mother always said, don't say anything bad about the dead. Only say good. Joan Crawford is dead. Good.
Yep, and hangs up, which I think that probably, for me, that would be a really hard line to...
It's such a Bette Davis thing to say.
Ugh, I'm like, God damn it, Betty. She just had to.
Oh, I was telling Bethany the other day.
Bethany?
Yes.
Oh, right.
I'm telling the millions of listeners we have. That, hi, you three.
I'm Bethany.
I was telling her the other day that I looked up. I wanted to find out when Ryan Murphy had met Bette Davis because
This is an awesome story.
I was a little shocked by. I thought it was a lot when she died. I didn't know, and so I guess he started corresponding. He started correspondence with her in a young age. And what was really cool is that her, I guess her caretaker or whatever, when she was getting worse, called up Ryan Murphy, even though him and Bette Davis had never met, and said, she's not doing well, you want to come see her, and invited him to come see her. And that's when they got to meet. But my favorite part about that story is all through their correspondence, she would sign every letter, something like, thanks for your letter. You're too sweet, Bette Davis.
Love it.
And it's just so Bette Davis. Classic Bette.
You know what I'm going to say, right? You're good.
You're good. I'm sorry. The one thing I will say, Bette Davis or Susan Sarandon or Ryan Murphy, whatever you want to say, is it can be 2 years from now. We can still be podcasting. And I know that we are still going to look at each other and say, you're good.
I have thoughts about that when we get to the end. But when we come back...
what, for future podcasting with me?
We're done.
Like, this is where we break up, actually. So hold your questions to the end.
Betty's visiting her severely disabled Romanian daughter, Margot. Just kidding.
Mongo?
No, Margot.
Oh. God.
Never gonna get that
spell
right.
check.
And Margot is like completely on it. Whatever she is, I don't know. She's out of it. And for Betty, this is therapy. Betty's just like going on and on about her life and her problems, leading Margot around. Margot is gone. There's nothing in there. I don't know what's in there.
Any old Hollywood actress needs a Margot. Perfect sounding board.
But the heart of this scene is she's feeling so lonely. She's with Margot, and Margot, aka her secret diary.
Yeah.
I love you just pulling up this huge bottle of wine. About how she received all these letters, or the letters were given to her that her mother had written, and how mean they were, talking about how selfish Betty was.
And she'd considered her only friend.
Right, and we heard that in another episode when Joan and her go for drinks. She says how close her and her mother were, and really her mother was her only friend.
Yeah.
And then Betty's like, it turns out I really was alone that whole time.
Mm-hmm. That was so sad.
Fuck Betty's mom. Who writes about their child like that? First of all, who are these letters to? And then
it was her mom's best friend, right? And her mom's best friend
and then her mom's best friend was like, hey, Betty, you want these letters? Like, I wouldn't give those letters to you.
No.
If I were your mom's best friend.
Absolutely not. It's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. Because I consider my mom one of my best friends.
Yes.
My best friend. And, well, you know.
Go ahead.
I just meant like...
you and your mom are very close. Your mom is awesome.
Very close. And if I found out Diana wrote a bunch of shit-talking letters about me, I'd be like, huh.
The thing is like, certainly we vent about our kids. I mean, how many times have I vented about at least my daughter to you guys?
I think you vent about who you love the most.
I think so, too. But I would be so upset if that was, like, the last flavor she had in her mouth. You know, like, why? And I would be so mad at my best friend. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck, bitch? Why'd you give her those letters?
Exactly.
That was me in one moment of a huge life. One moment.
When you tell something to a friend in private.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You just... all right. 1978 Oscars. And we've got all the interviewees together. So this is Ryan Murphy.
I just didn't know why Mamacita was there.
Just wrapping it up in a big bow.
Okay. Did you notice Mamacita in the background?
No, I didn't.
Because I was like, I literally had typed out Pauline, Olivia, Victor, Betty, Joan. And then I look in the background, I'm like, and Mamacita all backstage at the Academy Awards.
She's just like...
I mean, maybe she was invited. I don't know.
In postmortem? What is that? No, not postmortem. Whatever.
In memoriam.
In
memoriam.
They're watching that, which they do at every Oscars. That, for me personally, I fast forward through. Mm-hmm. And Joan gets 2 seconds. And they're like, God, 2 seconds for
50
a lifetime.
years in show business, and they give her 2 seconds.
And whoever says, that's all we'll get. That's all any of us will get. And they toast to her. And then we meet Adam, who's been running this whole documentary, talks to Betty.
This is where I was disappointed.
And she's like I told you, I will not participate in your documentary. You want me to say some,
funny bitchy comments.
Bitchy comments about Joan. She was a professional, and that was it. And I really liked that.
Me too.
And that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah, Adam says that's it. We'll never really know what happened between these two women. And the makeup artist
that's not where it ends.
Yeah,
sorry.
The makeup artist goes, I want to know what happened on that first day.
Yes.
And then it pans to the same exact scene we saw in the very first episode
Crying.
of them laughing together.
And the first day of filming Baby Jane.
Yes, exactly.
Where
and
in that episode they made it look like it was fake, but it wasn't fake.
It was not fake at all. And Joan says towards the end of their laughing and Joan telling her the story, they're walking away to their respective trailers, and Joan says to Betty that she hopes what happens when all is said and done in this filming is that she's ended up with a new friend. And Betty agrees. And I sob and you sob and I'm not crying, you're crying.
And then I thought that's the end. And then, nope, more tears. They do an awesome, what is that
I took
called?
pictures of every one of them to sum it up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I didn't want to type it out. So I just took little screenshots
at the end,
of it.
they go through all the main characters.
Bob Aldrich, good for him, did the Dirty Dozen and got really super famous.
Good for him.
Jack Warner, unfortunately died of AIDS in 1998 due to his gay... No, I'm just kidding. He actually remained active as an independent producer, but still went down as one of the great movie moguls. Victor Buono, and I'm sorry.
This is so sad. He died. That I know, the likeness.
They look exactly alike.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But he was actually... I remember him in the Batman TV series because my husband's obsessed with the old school Batman TV series. And he was King Tut. And he died of a heart attack at 43 years old on New Year's.
That's so sad.
So sad. Fucking Beatty, man. They became born again Christians and started their own church.
I gotta read that book.
And Betty disputes Beatty's version of the events and never spoke to her daughter again after that book. Yes, that's crazy. Olivia de Havilland, I know we said this before, but I just want to celebrate it again. 100 years old, July 1st, 2016.
God, man, she must have lived a clean life.
Olivia. And then Hedda Hopper. I do love that her last motion picture was the Oscar, and the last word that she ever uttered on screen was bye.
I know.
That was cute. A year after Joan's death, Christina Crawford published Mommy Dearest. And I just love how, and like, I've read this and you've read this and we've watched documentaries and listened to You Must Remember This, and there's so much outpouring from every side of everything. People might have had problems with Joan, but a lot of people out there are like, no, fuck that.
I kind of love that because I didn't know that. I watched Mommy Dearest and I had read a little bit about it. I'm like, God, man, Joan Crawford, what a bitch. No,
Christina Crawford, what a bitch.
I bet Christina Crawford hates this series.
She should, because it's like shedding light on a cold case. This cold case has been solved, and Joan Crawford is innocent.
And you know I love me some cold case files.
Mm-hmm. I do love that F. Scott Fitzgerald actually called Joan Crawford...
The first flapper?
The best, doubtless, the best example of a flapper.
Yes.
Betty Davis, diagnosed with breast cancer, underwent a mastectomy. And with 2 weeks, she suffered 4 strokes. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that she never stopped working and continued to smoke up to 100 cigarettes a day.
100 cigarettes a day.
That's crazy. That's That's 5 packs a day.
Holy shit. Wait, they couldn't be doing anything else.
No, you can't, because I was so shocked that Audrey Hepburn had smoked 3 packs a day. 5
I would
packs
be
a day.
so skinny.
So expensive.
Yeah, nowadays it is.
And this was one of my favorite parts of it. It says, she was feted with numerous honors and awards. She passed away at 81 years old on October 6th. And her epitaph reads, she did it the hard way, not her way.
Just like your 2 truths last.
I'm like, phew. At least we did it last week and not this week.
Yes. So this is what I wanted when I said, okay, I didn't want to break up with you. So out of the stuff we've watched Ryan Murphy so far, if we're let's compare his we've got American Horror Story, is what I'm trying to say.
American Crime Story.
American Crime Story and Feud. And I know that we've only had 1 season of American Crime Story and we've only had 1 season of Feud. What is there a favorite?
Oh, that's hard. I love me. Like,
I just thought Feud was so nuanced and so good.
So good.
So good. I loved American Crime Story. I liked Feud better than American Crime Story. I just thought it was. Maybe it's Jessica Lange. Maybe it's Jessica Lange.
It's Jessica Lange, no doubt.
Sarandon.
No doubt. That's it's the actors. Yes.
For me, it was more moving. I don't know.
Absolutely, and as well as it should be, because fuck O.J. Simpson. But
excuse me, set the juice loose.
That's great. So American Horror Story I have to set apart because American Horror Story is not a true story, and you're already given an ending, beginning, and middle, and you can't really fuck that up.
No, but you have to pick.
I mean, the longevity of American Horror Story compared to two seasons.
Okay, so maybe we need some more seasons of both under our belt.
But I will say, if you want to compare American Crime Story to Feud, Feud wins.
Okay.
Because as much as I love me some O.J. Simpson from,
I love me some O.J.
I love that trial and how we grew up because, I
it
personally.
was such a part of it. Yeah. I remember watching Oh, yeah.
I don't know how because you're so young.
I was like.
You were
5
like
years
2.
old. Yeah. I was in the womb, basically.
But, I mean, as glued as I've always been to the O.J. Simpson case, I wouldn't think that if you would have asked me 5 years ago, what would I rather watch a show about? And it turns out 5 years later, I love Feud way better.
Yeah, I know. So remind me again what the next for Feud.
Charles and Diana.
Charles and Princess Diana. Okay.
Princess Charles and Prince Diana.
I'm going to love that. And what is American Crime Story?
Versace.
God, why do I keep saying Liberace?
Versace, as they say in Showgirls.
I just watched that Casey Anthony special.
Yes.
And
too many screenshots of our hometown.
Part of me was thinking, ooh, I wouldn't mind watching Ryan Murphy get his hands on this. But it's just had too much coverage.
And the whole, you know what I mean, the whole baby thing.
Dead babies.
I don't like it.
Speaking of dead babies.
I mean, bring a shit ton of bed babies.
Bed babies.
Jesus. Bring a shit ton of dead babies
Come
to
on,
me
man.
before I was a mother. But now that I'm a mother, I just cannot take it.
I'm sorry, the dog is going nuts over here.
It's okay.
He's so excited about Feud.
Bear does not want to hear anything about Casey Anthony.
Cheers to, I was going to say dead babies. Cheers to Bette and Joan and Jessica Lange and
Susan Sarandon. May there be so many more parts for you and women alike.
In heaven. Wait, what's the dog's name? Princess Heaven Butt?
Also known as Princess Lotus Blossom.
Here's to you.
But my next dog is called Princess Heaven Butt.
Princess Lotus Bottom. This is to you. Oh. We're drunk.
Chin chin.
Cheers. Bye. Good night, little buddies.